the chorus and the first verse of my father's song. And what he had to do to make it clear, because you never would understand it. You see, just like all the audience of people that's all over here, it's like a choir in a church choir. And here's a big omen here. And the people is all right. Now these is tenors, altos, basses, working on these songs. Because the soprano is the one that's on the middle of the floor gonna sing the song, you understand? And so they got the tenors. So they got the tenors, the altos, the basses, and everything. So my father had his songbook like this. See, this is the way they had to do the singing. They sung out of the book. They sung directly the notes out of the book. You know what I'm saying? And then when the notes was finished, they done got everybody's ready to sing the song. And then they sang the song, the words. All right. So my father was walking the floor, the youngest from there, singing his song with his songbook. I guess he had on short pants. I don't know, because they didn't have on long pants then. His song was, this was his song. I only know just the one verse and the chorus. And the song was that he sung was this. Jesus, Jesus, my Lord, have I forgot it? Oh, don't let me forget it. You have to hold it for a minute. I got to think. Ready? Okay. Let me know when.
Okay.
Ready? Jesus, my lover, he died, gave his own life, our salvation to win. So open your heart and bid him to come in, because he is the Savior for me. Jesus, the Savior for me. Yes, he's always the Savior for me. So open your heart and bid him to come in, because he is the Savior for me. Now that was my father's song before I was ever born into the world, when he was 15 years old. He was the youngest that ever walked the floor, they said. They sung that song with my father. I'll never forget it. Never, never. You see, that's why I'm so happy I was nosy. Because if I hadn't have been, I wouldn't have caught my father's song that they sung. I wouldn't have caught my uncle's songs. I had another uncle that sung the song about, I had another uncle, Uncle Willie. I'm so happy I was nosy.
That's right, Big Mama. That's my great-grandmother. And she created a fucking bandit. Look at me. I'm up here wild than a motherfucker. I'm from Big Mama. Amen. Connect with your ancestors. They got a lot of wisdom still. I love Big Mama. Big Mama, Big Mama. I love her. Let me just say this before we get started. We don't know where Geoff Brown is. Text him. He's supposed to be here. So he might walk in. We don't know. So let me just get right to it. Advertising Total Package Energy. I just had one Total Package Energy, and I'm already bouncing off the motherfucking walls. I'm ready to go. We got a lot of shit to talk about today, and I needed to be clear-minded and energetic and passionate and forceful and thoughtful with everything I needed to say. Total Package Energy is the supplement for that. B vitamins, amino acids, 0 carbs, 0 sugars, 0 crashes. It's the real deal. Everybody should get at least 10 cases apiece. Everybody should get at least 10 cases apiece. Especially if you got shit to do. You know why Total Package Energy factors so heavily into what I'm doing right now? Do you know I got projects? Got an album coming. David Banner just delivered a song to me. Working with Exhibit, he gonna give me a song. I got a one-of-a-kind, unique album coming. But the album is connected to the documentary. Corey Holcomb shot his piece to the documentary last Thursday? Last Thursday. That shit was wild. The documentary is developing and evolving into an absolute monster. My crew in here having motherfucking emotional breakdowns while they're listening to the guests that I have assembled. My crew in here breaking down. My homeboy, music producer, film director, writer, he ain't talked to his mama in 5 years. He in interview 3, he called me, man, I just talked to my mama. I ain't talked to my mama in 5 years. The information is too powerful. I had to go talk to my mama. See, when you start seeing the bigger picture in life, you start seeing that little fuck shit you got going on that you holding a grudge don't even really matter. When your picture gets wider. See, your grip is tighter when your picture is smaller. When your picture becomes wider, your grip starts to loosen. When you got projects, you need Total Package Energy. So we are doing the album, the book, the documentary, and the master class. 4 projects being developed right now. All of the same name, The Shrouded Lighthouse. I got my art team working on the cover right now. I got a lot goings on. Picking up, driving my son to all of his trainings and practices. Because you know I ain't gonna let him take the car. You know I ain't gonna let that motherfucker drive my car. Anyway. All that shit's involved too. Getting him ready. Negotiating shit with him between agents and all. Listen. It's a lot going on. You need Total Package Energy. Go to TotalPackageEnergy.com. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. Get 250 cases. Let's move 250 cases today. HuriKane Report. Let's get the HuriKane Report up in here. Sarah. Write it. Take action. You know what to do. Maintain freedom. H-report.news. Right? H-report.news. Get there. Support them. Follow them on Twitter. H_report. That's H_REEEPOORT. Get over there right now. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Alternative news source for ADOS. the HuriKane Report. A lot of my articles come from them as well. Get over there. People be like, oh, I hate it when Zoe screams. It hurts my ears. You don't get your motherfucking sensitive ear having ass out of here, nigga. You don't get your tender lobe ass out of here. Tender lobe, lobe so tender, holding me close to you. Earwax I surrender. Get your soft ass out of here, nigga. Motherfuckers be complaining about everything. Shit be free as hell. I'ma complain because it's free, nigga. Shit. Okay. What else we got? WeGet. My homeboy out of Dina. Somebody said you don't sing on 5150 because there's enough singers on 5150. Man, Corey and them, they be making up songs and shit. That shit be fire in a motherfucker. I be laughing for the most part. Shit is hilarious. Tender lobe, lobe so tender. Anyway, WeGet, my homeboy out of Dina, trainer, athlete. You in the dig? Love this brother's work. Please continue to support him. WeGet, they have all type of fitness packages. And let me just tell you, because this COVID shit is happening, and this shit is, I think most cities are gonna roll back to stage 1, shelter in place. Motherfuckers is having babies and getting fat. I'm just saying, motherfuckers is having babies and getting fat. You know, I met somebody the other day that had a Rona baby on the way. Rona baby on the way after 4 months. It happens now. Shit. Rona babies is coming. So I'm just going to say, man, a juice regimen where you getting some real nutrients, that shit's big. That shit's important. WeGet.com. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. Who else we got? Made. Man. Sacre. I got on a pair right now. Motherfuckers. I wish y'all could see these motherfuckers. They nice as hell. Made. Man. Sacre. I'm just keeping it 100, man. They comfortable to the motherfucker. They labeled left and right as if niggas can't, you know. They cold, man. And the sister that sell them is fine. If you ever get a shot. If you ever get a shot, she gorgeous. I seen her, I was like. Made. Main. Sakri. Follow them on Instagram and then connect to her various pages at Shopify. You know, please support her. Black-owned business out of Texas. A sister. Real country girl. Let me tell you something about them country girls. It's almost as if, as babies, they had an IV full of cream of wheat and butter and milk and nutmeg and cinnamon and honeycomb. There's something about the thickness and the curviness and the lusciousness. It's clarified butter under the skin of these country sisters. I mean, she is a buxom, voluptuous beauty. I mean, just a delicious beauty. When you see her, you're going to understand. Made man. Sacre. What else we got? No. Before we go relationship dismount, Terry Lomax. Terry Lomax. Terry Lomax. Free podcasting masterclasses on Mondays and Wednesdays. You got to get with her. Go to her website, terrylomax.com, and sign up to her masterclass. Shit, crazy, man. She's very intelligent. She's got her plan together. If you want to make an impact as a podcaster, if you want to grow your audience, if you want to make some money, right? If you want to build your audience around a concept, around an idea, right? And be able to monetize it, this is the system. Now, everybody knows podcasts and all of that shit is basically turning into, this is television now. Podcast, YouTube, all of that. This is basically TV now. TV damn near dead. But this is what it is now. So if you want to get in on it and you need a professional to help you sculpt what it is that you're trying to do and walk you through the process and help you build back-end systems to be able to streamline people's ability to help you monetize and people's ability to get into your database of information, this is the woman that can build the infrastructure around your podcast. She's the one. TerryLomax.com. Now, we haven't done this show. It's been a week. I need everybody to help boost up the sales of the relationship dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship. It's available in 3 formats on Amazon.com, right? That's Kindle, paperback, as well as Audible. Let's cash mob this book and get it back into the top 10 of books on Amazon.com. It was there for a little while and then it fell off in terms of sales. It's never going to fall off in terms of content. This book is retarded. But please get out there and do this work. Speaking of that, I'm getting ready to do a master class with Terry Lomax. We're about to launch it, and it's pieces of it will be coming from the relationship dismount, and I'm going to be providing my coaching for a way cheaper price so more people can get the coaching, because I know during COVID and all of the stuff that we're dealing with right now, it's kind of difficult to be able to get my coaching. So what we've done is we've reduced it all the way down. I mean, we'll let you know. We're going to release this. It's going to be a master class, and I want everybody to sign up. And a lot of it is going to be predicated on the relationship dismount as well as this book. The holographic relationship. And entanglement is everywhere now. This book came out last year, Valentine's Day 2019. And in the book, what is relationship entanglement? This is the follow-up to the relationship dismount. You can get a hard or a paperback copy of it from my website, IamZoeWilliams.com, or you can go to Amazon and get the Kindle. All right, what else do we have? I think we're good. I don't like promoting things that people don't want to support. But I love Power in One Clothing. They're a great clothing company. Those brothers over there, they're amazing, right? Solid brothers. And located everywhere. Some of them in LA, some of them in North Carolina, some of them in DC. Solid brothers. Now, let me say this. Everybody in the chat room, hit the like button. And please support the best way you know how. If it's a super chat, we'd appreciate it. If you've already super chatted, thank you so much. If it's a Cash App, please do that Sarah, put my Cash App up so people who are so inclined to participate in the giving tree would have the necessary tool to be able to do that. That's my Cash App. Now we finna get right into the current events. This shit about to change the game, y'all. Here we go. Current events. Let's just jump right into it. Nick Cannon. People have been asking me all day about Nick Cannon. What do I think about Nick Cannon? What do I think about his retraction? Y'all ready to get serious? Sorry to my Jewish brothers and sisters. You got any more storylines up there? I'm ashamed of my words.
That one's too big. I'll come back to that.
Okay. Let's just keep it 100. Number one, we don't know what Nick Cannon is going through. Because a lot of times when you move up the ladder in this industry or in the entertainment industry, you know, your success is leveraged against other shit. You know, we don't know how this is negatively affecting his children. We don't know how this is negatively affecting his family members, everybody around him, his ability to be able to take care of folk. We don't know. But I would offer this. If you're not willing to lose it all, don't speak on it. That's the difference between Ali. Maybe Ali didn't know the full outcome of what was going to happen to him when he said, I'm not a part of that Viet Cong. Maybe he did know. And if he did know, he understood that not only was he moving himself into harm's way, he was moving his family and his wife and children into harm's way. See, you got to be willing to stand on what you claim you believe. Now, if you're misinformed, the intelligent person should know not to speak. If you're misinformed, right? There are a lot of layers to this. Now, this is what I learned from Guy Black in radio. Guy Black told me when I was learning the radio ropes over at the Foxhole, he said, man, you got to be Matt Lauer. I said, what do you mean? He said, Matt Lauer never reveals his position. He just asks great questions. And then whatever comes out of the guest's mouth, he leads with that. So if you're trying to protect your position in the industry, stop trying to be as deep as Professor Griff or RZA or KRS-One or anybody else you have on your show. If you want to protect your opinion from being attacked, you got to go to Matt Lauer route, right? Ask great questions and let your guest shoulder the burden of the answers. You understand? And I'm just offering this. I'm not saying you right or wrong, or because I met Nick Cannon at the Foxhole. I missed him at the 5150 show. But he's always been cool with me. He told me him and Mariah had watched or listened to some of the Foxhole shows that I did on religion, and he's a very cool brother. But the reality of it is, don't speak on what you can't stand on. Don't speak if you know at some point you may have to back down because you were ill-informed. And how do you know you're ill-informed after the fact? Right? What information did you gain after the fact that informed you that you were indeed and in fact ill-informed? What information did you gain? See, Nick, I like I said, I feel for the brother, right? I feel for the brother, but you got to speak on what you know about, what you thoroughly understand. See, this is the type of community we live in. We live in a parakeet community. Somebody say some deep shit, we don't, especially amongst our own people, we feel like we don't have to quote them. We don't have to cite our own, because who the fuck is that nigga? It's just like in the comedy game. A lot of comedians will go out, I'm talking about more established comedians, will go out into the community and listen to young bucks coming up and steal their jokes. And the concept in Hollywood is whoever gets it on TV first owns the joke. Well, we do that with sound bites of shit that sounds deep. You understand? Jeff Brown just texted me, hey man, just woke up. This nigga's having COVID naps. What the fuck? Right? Where was I before Jeff interrupted? Somebody in the chat room remind me, where was I? I'm old. I'm old now. Everybody hit the goddamn like button. I see we only got 300 likes. Damn, there 900 people in here. Shit. Hit the motherfucking like button. What the fuck? All right. So now let's probe deeper. Is what you said incorrect? Cite your sources. That's what I was talking about. Before I get to is what you said correct or incorrect. Cite your sources. We should cite each other more than we cite the white man. We should cite each other more than we cite Western education. You know what Western education has done since it's been in power? It's recontextualized all of the ancient cultures before it and put it through a Western lens. Now they're the author. Is that a lie? Is that racist to say? When you see Madame Blavatsky from the Theosophical Society go into India and Asia and take all their spiritual beliefs and recontextualize them for Western consumption, and then add racism into her books, right? This is what Westerners do. We're going to make it for Western consumption, more palatable for us, but then we're going to add racism into it. You know, the 7 or 5 or 7 subhuman classes. Okay, cool. Just because you're white and you can do that. Is that not savage? Was it not savage? What's the white man? Johann somebody who said, you know what? There's 5 skulls. The Asian skull, the African skull, the Malay skull, the Caucasian skull, and the Caucasian skull is the most beautiful. Caucasia, you know, the Caucasus Mountains, that's right, you know, near Georgia, Russia. Oh yeah, these are the most beautiful people in the world. Why? Because those slaves were, the female slaves of the Caucasians were sold all over the world. During Rome, during Greece, during all these times. Sold all over the world to Arabia. They was considered the most beautiful slaves. So this man decided to say, yeah, they're the most beautiful woman, the most beautiful people. Caucasians. And because he's white, he gets to establish a standard. Go to Russia right now and call them Caucasian. They're going to be mad as fuck. They don't want to be called Caucasian. But so how did the motherfuckers here in America get called Caucasian? Just fuck it. Let's pick up a name. Fuck it. Let's just. Most beautiful motherfuckers ever. Everybody else ugly. Then they'll go into Africa, onto the continent. First off, please understand, Africa is a continent. It is not a country. Africa has over 50 countries. It is not a country. It is a continent. Just like Europe is the continent. Africa is the continent. They'll go into Africa and they'll say, you know what? It's impossible, right, for a subhuman species like the Negroid to have built some shit this spectacular. So let's divide it. Sub-Saharan, nappy-headed, big-lipped, wide-nosed Negroes are just far too ignorant to do this shit. But the tall, slender, Ethiopian, thin-nosed, thin-lipped, right, African, we'll label them as Caucasian based on their aquiline features. Are you telling me this? Who is that, Geoff? Now let me just say this, my nigga. Let me just say this, my nigga. This is an all-time low to be late from home. Why your wife gotta wake you up? So you might die unless your wife wake you up. This nigga just keep on sleeping. Sarah, turn Geoff up.
Can you turn your volume up on your end? Okay. All right. Here we go. How's that? Is that better? Should be.
I knew once you went home from COVID and started Skyping that you were gonna slip into your house like change in a velvet couch. I knew your ass was gonna nestle in to your house. I knew that was gonna happen, nigga. It sounded like it got lower, bruh. Just do a couple of testings while she works.
Yes. All right. Let me test some shit. How's that? Is that better?
Sounded better.
Does that sound better when I do that? Yeah. That's even better.
Let's see. Turn it up a little bit from where you are.
Yeah, I'm up over here.
You're up over there.
Yeah.
Way, hey.
Somebody said to turn up your input volume.
Turn up your input volume, Geoff. Lord Show Derail. Oh shit, there's nigga. This motherfucker hacking and shit. I just don't understand.
Oh wait, what? You just went off. You just went the video going. Okay, you back.
Somebody said, Lord, we go through this with Geoff on giraffe balls. Upgrade your production, my nigga. Let's see if we could do this real quick, Geoff, so we could get back to the show.
Yes.
Geoff, I want your thoughts on Nick Cannon.
Okay. All right. I'm just
Yeah, how about that? Somebody said, put on some headphones. Go get your wife. Geoff needs subtitles.
I'm trying to get my
Okay, so this is what we'll do. While you're doing that, I'm going to finish talking. And then when you're ready, yeah, you do that. Back to what the fuck I was talking about before this nigga called in randomly. Unprepared, late. But that's my nigga. I love it. I'm just going to say it again. White people get to use history the way they see fit, as their toy, as their tool for propaganda, as their tool for propping themselves up in the world. Now, is that racist for a black man to say? You telling the truth about your culture. Is it racist for a black man to tell the truth about his culture? I gave you the example of Madame Blavatsky of the Theosophical Society. She went into Asia and got a chance to just motherfucking recontextualize some 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000-year-old scripts so it could be more easily consumed by Westerners? Yep. Let's talk. Let's keep it 100. You often hear us say the Moors are black. But so were the Jews, the original Jews, the Hebrews. That's racist to say, is it? Why would that be racist to say? Somebody point that out. The original Hebrews were and are black. Fuck, the original everything was and is black. Now, here comes the whole, everybody want to, see, this is the problem with our people too. We want to fight and haggle over a word. Well, we're not black, we're not a color, and we're not a crayon. That's not the point I'm making. I'm speaking a language that is universally understood by most people that don't understand Morus, Moor, Mauritania, right? For most people that don't understand that, they basically understand black. More, swarthy, dark complexion. But if you do your research, you'll find out about the Portuguese, the black Hebrew in Portugal. You'll find out about the black Hebrew in Spain. First off, understand Arab and Hebrew are the same thing. They're cousins. Hebrew means to cross over. Eber. Abraham was the first one to do it, according to some random observer in Genesis that said, hey, there go Abraham crossing over the Tigris and Euphrates River. He's an Eber. He becomes a Hebrew. Wasn't the Hebrews wandering for 40 years, looking for the land of Canaan? That would make them nomads with no land. Doesn't Arab mean wanderer? That would make them nomads. The only way to consider the Asiatic black man, because a lot of brothers will say the first is the Asiatic black man. Elijah Muhammad said it. The owner, the maker, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, right? The Asiatic black man. Asia only means east. The Asiatic black man in the East. That would be Middle East too, you know. That would be Far East as well, you know. And based on migration patterns, people say, oh, you know, the out of Africa theory is not true. Right? It's not true. Well, that's the most successful model we have currently. Show me one that replaces the out of Africa. If we're dealing with out of Africa, we're dealing maybe 150,000 years ago, Homo sapiens sapien emerged out of Africa from the continent. Right? Arabs and Hebrews come from Aram and Ashur, from Shem. This is where you get your language Aramic. This is where you get your language Ashuric. From Aramic comes your ancient variations of what is now known as Hebrew. From Ashuric comes your ancient variations of what is now known as Arabic. Arabs are Semitic. From Shem, according to the Bible. But coming out of Africa, heading east, we become Asiatic black men. You keep going further east, you see that 75,000-year-old DNA marker at the southern tip of India. We populate India. You go even further, we go to China. You go even further, we go to Japan. You go even further, we're in Laos, we're in North Korea, South Korea. Angkor, come on. Melanesia, Micronesia, Polynesia. That's all. Nesia, the root of it is Asia, east. Melanesia, Melanin Asia. Huh. Interesting. Is the truth of the black man being the seed of everything? Muslim, Hebrew, Christian, the oldest Christian church is in Ethiopia. Is that a terrorist hate crime to say black people seeded it all? Thailand, all that shit, ours. This is why there's a concerted effort to hide the black inhabitants. Chile basically just said, we We just gonna get them all the fuck up out of here. Chile. The original Brazilians hide. The Afro-Brazilians. There's more Afro-Brazilians than there are African Americans here. So how in the entire fuck, do certain characters, there go that first brother over there in India, in Japan, setting up martial arts. You saw that original picture of Buddha? We are indigenous to the world. Once that major, is Geoff still on?
No, he said he's gonna call me back on his phone.
Okay. Once that major eruption happened, I think it was Toba. That major eruption happened, Toba, and it created a bottleneck for Homo sapiens sapien. We almost died out as a species. You understand? Almost died out, and I'm talking about humanity. But humanity was not Caucasoid at that time. Out of Africa. That's the theory. Toba erupts. It was an extinction level event that happened. It erupted. Created a bottleneck. When we talk about a bottleneck, they say humanity got down to just a few thousand. Everybody else died off. And those that survived emerged out of the continent and started to populate the world. You had the Chinese people, the Chinese government, these mugs was over there saying, oh, hell no. We from the Peking man. We're our own people. We're from the Peking man. Okay. They got their own researchers who they trust because they don't want to trust nobody else's researchers. Okay, cool. It came back that 90% of the billions of Chinese over there are from pygmies. African pygmies. So I guess we lying about your fat lips and your wide noses too. So I guess the light-skinned of our group, who we call yellow, would make them Asian because they yellow. You yellow too. You belong to us. You pull up them goddamn Olmecs. What are they? See, race has pimped you all because it's a story that can constantly keep shifting, just like gender. We could just keep changing shit. Look at the Latin people. How you gonna call yourself Spanish and you not from Spain? Well, we speak Spanish, yes, because you were conquered by Spain, the conquistadors. What were you before they got here? What language did you speak before they got here? What did you call yourself? What's a Mayan name? Do you have one? What's an Aztec name? What is an Olmec name? Do you still call yourself that? And ethnically speaking, what were you? Oh, they're the Arawaks, and everybody want to talk about that. But here's the thing. When the so-called myth of Columbus showed up here, he thought he was in India based on the complexion of the people. And that's how they got turned into Indians. So we're going to lie and say, well, let's just normalize Indian. Let's just figure out a way to make it all, okay, Native Americans, they're native to America. Then you start finding out black people sailed over here before there was a Columbus. Uh-oh. It sounds like Geoff is back.
Yeah. Is it better? Is that better? Can you hear us?
I hear Geoff. Hey guys, is Geoff good?
Yes, I hear and see you now. I got a different phone. I use a different phone. Let's see.
All right, so let me finish this thought and I'm gonna throw it to Geoff because I want to get his opinion. So, when you're looking at the Latin people, you call yourself Latin, but you don't speak Latin. You call yourself Spanish because you speak Spanish. But I'm Latino, but you don't speak Latin. Your race is a construct. What in the world? A construct. Some made up shit. To hide who you really are. This shit is so perplexing to me. Because if a man within the construct of this society stands up and says, that's not the true history, you're not telling the truth, now you become some type of pariah. Can you pull up Revelations when they describe Jesus? Feet like brass burnt in a furnace.
Revelations 4, let me go to that.
We can't hear you, Geoff. Fix your sound.
Can you turn the volume up on your phone? He's on his phone now.
Geoff is...
Oh, the phone. Within Skype? Can you hear me now?
Pull him up. Let's see.
We can hear you. Hold on. I can hear you, but they're saying they can't hear you.
This is an experimental show for real. Are you good, Geoff? You there? Oh, shit.
Okay, now, whatever you just did is louder here. Let's see if they...
All right, let's see. Talk to us, Geoff.
Oh, now you want to... Wait.
Can y'all hear Geoff? But we can't see Geoff.
I can see you over here.
Geoff got the Obama phone out.
Huh? This is a new phone. Oh, there you go.
Oh, we can hear him now. I can hear you.
I can hear you better.
Can you guys hear Geoff?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Good. I'm wonderful. How's that? Is that better?
You sound good to me.
Yeah, you sound better. Okay, then I'm gonna start talking.
Okay, Geoff. I was on a historical roll, but let's let Geoff jump in here. Geoff, what are your thoughts, my brother, on the Nick Cannon thing?
On anything. One, black people have to stop looking at racism as we don't like you niggas because you're niggas. Racism is purely and foremost and primarily two things: an economic construct that is motivated by number two, genetic survival. Period. We have been snowed just as the bigots, not racists, the people you see in the street, the people yelling nigger from moving cars, the people antagonizing us are not racists. They are ignorant, bigot pawns. Racism is about the system that is put in place to system all that shit. You know how they did conspiracy theorists to fuck with white people who would talk about JFK? Well, the man keeping you down is the same mechanism to keep you from looking at what racism is truly about,
Hold on,
which is
Jeff. They said
keeping.
there is absolutely no sound.
I didn't do shit. I'm sitting here. I've got a great signal. I'm gonna walk through my goddamn house. Let me walk through my house. Let me walk outside. Okay. God damn it.
Somebody said finally we can hear you.
I can hear you. Okay, you're good. Go back to where you were. Go back to where you were.
How about now?
No, go back to
How
where
about
you
now?
were. Go back to where you
Oh
were.
God. Oh
No, go
God.
back to where you were.
Somebody said there we go. We can hear you.
You good.
Now run back to where you was, Jeff. Run back in there, Jeff.
Jeff, go back. Go back.
Go back.
Yeah, we good now.
They said we good now.
We good.
Oh, it's good now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what, Negroes? Let's make it good.
Now you cut.
Now you could now.
Now you cut now. Go back.
Because he done ran all over the
I'm
house.
gonna take my ass out of my back. All right, how about that? How about that? Is he? All right. All right. How about now?
Okay. You're good.
All right, we hear you now, Jeff. Go ahead and speak on.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can hear you now,
Hello?
Jeff.
Okay. Racism again. Function of economics. It's not about who don't like you. It's about the power elite convincing their idiots that they're better than you. That's what this has always been about. We make it about who don't like us, who don't want us. Where did these people come from? Why are they doing this? It ain't about none of that. Get your shit together and realize that lazy, rich white people, that's a bloodline. If you go back to the founding of this country, the same relatives, the same cotton, sugar, gunpowder relatives are running shit today. Those families helped to create and cultivate racism. It's not about any of this other shit that we are talking about. It's not about the votable. You can't vote this away. You can't protest this away. You can group economics this away. You can group security this away. You can go ham the next time you see anybody black in distress. Pretend that's your mama. Pretend that's your cousin. Whatever it has to be. I often ask this question, people, black people. Are you and I related? Are we cousins? And they go, no, you're wrong. You don't know. The way we were bred up and split up like cattle, nobody has any idea who anybody is related to. So why don't we act like we're all related and give yourself the positive benefit of that doubt, that since I don't know whether I'm Sarah's cousin, why don't I act like I am? Why don't I immediately assume the positive position that this person deserves my money, this person deserves my affection, this person deserves my forgiveness?
Jeff, did you answer the Nick Cannon question?
Oh, you was on racism. What? Okay.
I was just asking, like, what's your thought about Nick Cannon? I did start with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, can I give me a couple more minutes? Just a couple more. Nick Cannon to me is a wounded soldier. He went out on the battlefield for us, and he was struck down by our enemy. And instead of dragging him back to heal him, us Jasper ass shade tree house coons decided to mock him on the battlefield. He was mocked on the battlefield. For what? What?
Who mocked him, Jeff?
Us.
How do we mock him?
Those by this nigga that turned around. He done changed his word. He done sold out. He done blah, blah, blah. He done anything negative to me is unfair. It's unfair.
Why do you say that, Geoff?
What they say again?
I said, why do you say it's unfair?
Because we don't know. Okay, I covered this on Giraffe Balls last night. I have known, and not don't let me cultivate it into a conversational relationship because it's not on that level. But I met Nick Cannon when he first started doing stand-up. He used to come down. He was already on Nickelodeon, but he wanted to do stand-up. And all of us embraced Nick, and we helped him with his material. He was a good, pure-hearted dude. And to this day, I have not heard a story counter to that from anyone. From anyone. And I'm gonna
that's agreed.
Like
that's true.
Night, I haven't heard it from anyone. So for me to believe that he on some wishy-washy Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton bullshit, I don't believe that. I believe that this brother, who does have fuck you money, was told something or showed something that scared the shit out of him. You don't know which one of his relatives they dragged in there. You don't know
That's
what
true.
they said to
I
this
said
brother.
that earlier.
To make him agree to words that don't sound a damn thing like Nick or any other black man. To make him, to bend him, to buck break him in front of us. And then have those who stand around the buck that was broke ridicule him is bullshit. It's bullshit. I don't see it that way.
Geoff, I'm gonna slightly push back here.
Sure.
I understand what you mean, but what you're supposing is that the people have context of what he might be going through, have an understanding of what he might be going through. But on the surface, it looks like what it looks like. And that is, hey, number one, you're in an industry where if you can't speak on it and stand on it, you shouldn't be speaking on it and standing on it. That's the industry that he's in, right? So
yes,
I see you giving him the benefit of the doubt, but you're also expecting the people who are watching to give him the benefit of the doubt based on what might have been put in front of him. They could have no reference point for that. What it looks like to the average person is, one, you spoke up on something that you're not thoroughly educated on, and then you backtrack, and now you feel ashamed. But the assumption from the people that are on the outside looking in, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, the assumption on of the outside looking in is you were made to bend your knee in order to keep your assets that you've accumulated in this system. Your thoughts?
I'm glad you said the key word, average here. That's the word that we must take into account. Nothing about Nick Cannon's life is average. Nothing. Which means it's going to be a little hard for the average to grade it. This dude has amassed a lot of money outside of Mariah Carey. People you love Nick Cannon, Mariah Carey. Nick Cannon had his own bread when he met Mariah Carey and has been stacking that bread smartly and has started other brands and is a businessman.
And has given a lot of black talent jobs.
Oh my God, dude, look up the Nick Cannon Kaylani story. He saved that girl's life. Now, and that's some other shit. My point is this, is that to look at this through average eyes, you would say he was ready, fire, aim, and shot his mouth off before he thought he was ready.
You don't get to be a millionaire, a self-made millionaire on your own with that level of thinking. You ever play spades? Some people play with these rules. Big joker pulls, which means if I throw the big joker, you got to throw your biggest spade. Some people play big joker, little joker, ace of spades, deuce, where the deuce is over the king of spades. Well, they was playing spades by one of them rules Nick didn't know. And Nick's money was the king of spades. Somebody threw the deuce. Someone of them Jews threw the deuce. Hey, man, maybe you forgot about this thing in your life. Maybe you forgot about that. How'd you like your plane to crash, Nick? You don't know nothing. You don't know what these people said to this dude.
But
And
even this is an assumption because we don't know what happened.
That's all we have to make.
That's all we got, right?
That's all.
So now
Right.
I would come back and ask this. Did he lie?
Did he lie about what?
What he said. About the savagery and the barbarism.
Oh, of course. Put it this way. Nick Cannon would have been in a better position had he lied.
No, that's not what I asked. I asked, did he lie?
Absolutely not. No. He
So,
did not lie
so
about
now,
slavery.
so now understand the disappointment that many may feel if they felt he was telling the truth and then couldn't stand on it. I understand the circumstances that you're painting around what may have made him capitulate. But if you told the truth, right? It's no secret. We all know that the Greeks, the Romans, they waited to get into ancient Egypt, Kemet, to study under the masters in the mystery schools. We know that. So, but how do they emerge out of the mystery school and go back to their place and get called the father of medicine when Imhotep is right there?
How? Is that rhetorical?
No, it's rhetorical. It's rhetorical. But the point that I'm trying to make is, where did he lie? This is where the disappointment is coming. You had to capitulate on the truth. You had to kneel on the truth. Talk to me, Geoff.
Yes. Yes. The same people who brought you the Kennedy assassination, the Martin Luther King Jr. assassination, the Robert F. Kennedy assassination, the Medgar Evers assassination, the same people who brought you the Tuskegee experiment, the Trail of Tears.
Geoff.
These are the people you were discussing. Yes?
Geoff, our good brother, Nick, said, I'm ashamed of what I said. You ashamed of the truth?
No.
Deal with that, Geoff.
Oh, look here. If Zoe Williams says something, and here's a dude I've known, I know of Nick Cannon. I know Zoe Williams. I know Zoe Williams. If I was to take a 100-question test on Zoe Williams, I'd like to believe I could get a C. If I hear
you could get a C?
That Zoe Williams, I think I could get a C. I think I could get a C. No, I ain't going A. I can't get an A. That's over in your kids and your family. They get an A. But I bet you I can score a C on a 100-question test about Zoe Williams. If I hear that Zoe Williams has to make an official statement and it is written and it doesn't come out of his mouth, with that C-level information, I could go, that's Zoe's sentence. That ain't Zoe's sentence. Zoe ain't never said no shit like that. I'm ashamed. Somebody wrote that shit and said, either you say this or we gonna do that. I don't know why that's not painfully obvious here. Here is a man who thought he had fuck you money. That was he threw his king of spades. His king of spades is, look here. Y'all been paying me for close to 2 decades, and I ain't been stupid with a nickel of my money. I'm good. So I'm going to tell the truth, because this is how I feel. And somebody stepped up and said, you know what? Keep talking like this, and we're going to cut your mama open and feed her to the pigs. Somebody said something that ugly to him and said, now sign this shit right here. That's what I believe happened.
Okay, so
That's
even if
what
that happened, why not put yourself in the Ali line as opposed to the I'm gonna be safe line? And listen, that's an individual man thing. You know what your family needs from you. Ali knew what his needed from him, and he put them in harm's way. Maybe Ali's way ain't the right way, but Ali did it and set a standard for manhood. MLK did it and set a standard for manhood. Malcolm did it and set a standard for manhood. In other words, standing on the truth put them and their families in harm's way. You remember Malcolm saying, if this cocktail would have went through this window, it would have landed on my 6-year-old or my 4-year-old. Remember that? So Malcolm is standing for something, but his family is also in the way, so to speak.
Yes. Yes.
By your reasoning, you saying somebody made him an offer he could not refuse in order to stay in this toxic situation, and he had to kneel and take a L for telling the truth. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I am saying that the level of animal, we are at least, and let me address this real quick. Somebody in the chat room says that I'm disappointing y'all. Well, congratulations. You're in the same line with my children.
Wow.
If you never disappoint your kids, you a shitty parent. If you can always go where you want to go, your kids don't ever fuck your plans up. That's because you horrible. I'm going to say some shit you're not going to disagree with. And I happen to believe that Nick Cannon socially is not Chicken George. Nick Cannon socially is not Steven from Django. He does not deserve our ridicule. I say it again, and I mean the same thing. This brother bit off more than he could chew accidentally, and it ain't about keeping his money. I don't believe it's about money. This is something else. I don't see Nick as that shallow. This movement is too hard. This movement is thumping too funky for him not to be able to go, all right, cool. I'm going to go to Master P. And me and Master P going to go to Too Short. And me and Too Short going to go to Griff. And then all of us going to go to T.I. and kill a mic. And we finna come out with the funkiest shit you ever seen. You think that was, you think that idea escaped him? I don't. He's in constant contact with these people. I am not in any way of the belief that Nick Cannon looked at his money and said, fuck black people. That's convenient.
Is it a terrorist act, Geoff? Is it a terrorist act to tell the truth about African global history?
Say again?
Is it a terrorist act to tell the truth about African global history? Now, when I say African, I'm not saying Africa is a country. I'm saying Africa is a continent. And our people from all over the continent migrated all over the world. Is it a terrorist act to tell the truth about black history in the Bible? Is the Bible black
we gonna
history?
Okay, we're going to have to first break down the word terrorist.
You know, like the peace terrorist in the house.
Terrorist, this is a Jeff Brown definition. Terrorist is basically the definition of any group that's tired of the white man shit to the point that they're going to do something outside of the law. Or let me rephrase that. Any person or group that decides they are tired of the bullshit that is being or has been put down by the group that's in power. So the word terrorist has generally meant I'm reacting, not acting. You acted. You did something foul. You did something to make me strap a bomb to myself and walk into a bar. I didn't wake up with that. So, yes, of course, it's a terrorist act to step up and say, wait a minute. What you have done to the world is rape, kill, pillage, and burn to get what you want and get where you're at. And then you made it illegal to rape, kill, pillage, and burn to get the shit back that you sold. And anybody who tries is now a terrorist. So yes.
So this is very interesting because we know, right? There's a lot of history out there, right? Whether it's the history of the Moors, whether it's the history of the slave trade. We know there has been a concerted attempt to obfuscate the truth of our people, right? And it's been racially motivated. Look up the man from Chicago by the name of Ben Amin Carter, who moved a group of people into Israel because he believed that the blacks in America are Israelites. Why? Based off of some books and some records that say the Portuguese and the Spaniard black Moor, they say black Moor in the books, were sold into slavery 100 years before 1619. Sold into slavery. And then those slaves were sold to Africa and then shipped off to the island of St. Thomas. Ben Amin Carter, Dimona, Israel. Israel doesn't even really want to accept them as full citizens. They have limited citizenship, and they're not being fully recognized by the state of Israel.
Okay.
What I need to understand is this. Where does the white man appear first in the Bible in terms of the genealogies?
The Garden of Eden.
No.
He that goddamn snake.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if we having a George Floyd moment where everybody want to tell the truth and everybody want to knock down a symbol, can we get to the facts? See, it's easy to go say, let's knock down this motherfucking statue. But if we having a George Floyd moment and everybody want to apologize and throw money at Black Lives Matter and everybody want to do all this, where is the real discussion about history? Remember 3 weeks back when we talked about George Floyd? And I said, if you really want to change it, change the History Channel. Because these
Yeah,
motherfuckers
how
been
about
lying
that?
this whole time. Remember, we put up the motherfucking poster of the white man as Pharaoh? Talk to me,
Oh,
Geoff.
yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know how, if you watch the old movies in the movies made in the 60s and 70s about Egypt, where they get the British accents from? How
You
gonna,
in Africa talking about Heva, Levas.
yes. How you gonna
There's a
how you,
descendant of the
how,
Covenus clan, not but 3 feet from you. Go ahead.
yes. right. How you gonna say your name Jesus and you was born and came here for 33 years and died in the Middle East, and all the dudes around you named Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Silas, Peter, Timothy, Judas, not one Ahmed, not one Amir, not one.
Well, Geoff, that sounds deep, but it's not.
So once you look at that,
That sounds deep, but it's not.
okay,
I don't want you to sound like that.
okay,
I want
well
to
help
stop
me
you
out
before
there,
you make
because
that point.
okay,
Because
well
those are English.
I know a lot of.
I'm just saying those are English translations of those names. John is Yochanan.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like, if you know the language, you understand that those aren't common names.
Then damn it, they left Habakkuk in there. They left Zephaniah, Haggai. When the last time you met a Haggai? Okay, they left Methuselah in there. How come you didn't leave Jakakawak or whatever the hell
But
you
let me
said?
hit you with this. Because they understood what type of book they were constructing and for whom they were constructing it
Yes,
for.
sir. Yes, sir.
There's
So-
over
so when you-
1,200 Jesuses in the Bible. But Jesus as a term had to be changed. This is how they did it. Jesus is short for Joshua. So you get Yahshua, which is short for Yehoshua. Yehoshua is Joshua. Yahshua
Right.
is O Savior, right? Yahshua, one who saves, O Savior, Yahshua. But that is the short form of Yehoshua, which is Joshua. All the Jesuses in the Bible, they changed to Joshua and left one Jesus because they were crafting a narrative. Do you understand that?
Okay. I get that. Okay. Am I still here?
You are there, Geoff.
Can
But
you
your
hear me?
picture not. Get your picture back up.
Okay. Well, my picture is down. My picture is down because I was taking a pull from my bong and I couldn't do it. I couldn't light it. I don't have a third hand. I'm back now. Okay. It is my opinion. It is my honest opinion that it is fruitless to break down the code of to me, to look through the Bible for truth is like looking through pig shit for pearls. There's other places to find truth.
No, Geoff.
Without all this shit.
It's a limited thought, Geoff.
Oh, okay. I'm the bruh. Come on. So
You know,
been
I
pulling my
love
head out
you.
of my ass for over a decade.
I love you. I can't let you say that. And the only reason why I say that is if you understand the language, it reveals an entirely different world to you. What you're reading right now, is the King James Version of the Bible. Now remember, the King James Version comes out of the Latin Vulgate as well as the Greek. The Latin Vulgate, the word Vulgate produces our English word vulgar. And vulgar means unlearned, dirty, stupid, basically what they say nigga is now. Ignorant,
Yes,
all that.
unwashed and ignorant.
That's vulgar. The Vulgate, the whole purpose of it was to down or dial down the spirituality in the book. Less esoteric. This is why the book of Thomas is not in it. The book of Thomas is talking about Jesus running around as a baby doing miracles. They had to dial down the gnosis, the spiritual knowledge in the book that would actually free people from actually needing the book. But if you understand the language, you understand what's missing, you understand what's actually being said. Speaking of that, Ishmael, son of Abraham,
Right.
had a son.
Okay.
You start looking up these names in the Bible. You start seeing these names mean shit. Right? Why in the fuck would Noah, if Noah existed, because the goddamn Sumerians and the Babylonians say he was called Utnetfishtim. And they predate this book. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Funky right there.
That's a whole nother discussion.
There's something funky in that.
Right.
But fishdom.
In
that fishdom. That's something funky right there.
Oh shit. But in naming his son Ham, I'm talking about Noah. Noah names his son Ham. Ham means burnt black. Ham, pronounced Cam, like L.A. Cam, which gives us chemistry. What? That's the land of the blacks? Cam? How the fuck do different races come out of 3 different sons? When you look at the history books, the way the Westerners put it together, they'll make Ham's kids look African. They'll make Jephthah and Shem's kid look somehow Arab. How does Noah and his wife have triplets, and those triplets, Ham, Jephthah, and Shem, give birth to 3 different ethnicities, 3 different ethnic groups? How in the fuck does that happen, Geoff?
I want to know who all had to fuck Eve to get any of this to happen. I mean, really, that's why I told you, man. I don't, dude, I had these questions at 12 years old. I was asked to teach Sunday school when I was little. And there was some timeline questions I had then. So it's so easy. And y'all are here. The people in the chat room is here. Sarah's here. Zoe's here. We're here to help each other. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We're here to help each other. So help me grow to the point that I can pick the Bible back up, because I have thrown it down. I have to me, it is basically a book, the number 1 book of sorcery against the black people has been the King James Version of the Bible.
I like that caveat. The King James Version. I like that. Keep going.
The King James Version. The King James Version of the Bible has been used to cast a spell of poverty, has been used to cast the spell of poverty, be in some divine place to be. It has cast this spell of all the creator is about is rubbing him like rubbing a lamp like he's a genie and getting some shit. It has cast a spell of here. We gonna use this Bible in conjunction with welfare in order to make you kick your man out and fall in love with Jesus.
Huh? What? Oh, hold on, Geoff.
So
don't put it on the Bible.
When,
don't put that on the Bible. Put that on the decipherer, the wielder of the Bible.
Okay, yes, I'm absolutely
Yeah. Put that there.
Of the Bible. But who gave that person the Bible in the first place?
No,
who,
see,
I
the Bible.
Look at the fish.
But Geoff,
the
Bible is like
fish,
fire.
bro. I gotta look at the bowl.
Geoff, the Bible is like fire. It could either warm a bottle or burn down the house. It is the wielder of it.
Right.
It is the wielder of the Bible. If you don't listen, if the preaching game, if a certain aspect of the preaching game has been about being a manipulator, then that's what you're addressing. That aspect of the preaching game that uses the pulpit to manipulate the poor, that needs to be dealt with. And remember, the Nation of Islam dealt with it when Elijah Muhammad broke down the 85, 5, and 10 percenters. In the 10% are the bloodsuckers, lawyers, corporations, and politicians and preachers. Those who know the truth, but don't tell the 85% who are unaware of the truth. Then you have the 5%, which are the poor righteous teachers. Elijah Muhammad already broke down these numbers. The 5% go and teach the 85% about how the 10% leech off of them, are the bloodsuckers of them. That was already broken down. So to speak to your point, yes, there are preachers out there that pimp this shit to take advantage of our community. But if you approach any holy book, listen to me, Geoff. If you approach any holy book from its original script, it's going to tell a different story than what the King James Version is telling. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. So, and I submit to you, and y'all understand, when it comes to most subjects, I don't draw swords with Zoe, because my sword is made of unobtainium. This nigga's sword is made of the sun itself. So I usually
unobtainium, nigga.
my sword is about that light. I got a nice sword, but I defer to your sword.
I appreciate it, brother.
I say this, man. I say this to you the same way. I say to you the same thing I say to Bible thumpers. If what's your favorite dish that your big mama made? Your favorite dish?
Her grits,
okay,
hey, her grits were to die for.
Grits. Okay, all right. I'm gonna put two things together that I'm gonna tell you back in the day I'd have tore up. I'm gonna put grits and meatloaf together. Okay. Your big mama's Sarah recipe for me is in the book of cooking for Black people. Right next to Zoe's big mama recipe for grits in the book of cooking. We all know about this book of cooking. We all know about both them big mama recipes. So since we know about them recipes, And we know that Big Mama made them original recipe. Why are we dealing with Heidi's recipe that calls for orange slices, croutons, pine nuts? You know how white folks do. Calls for that. And we know that on this sheet, we are going to have to decipher out the orange slices, croutons, and pine nuts in order to get to the pure recipe. Why are we dealing with Heidi's recipe at all when we know Big Mama's recipe exists? And there is no question Big Mama's recipe exists. There is no debate about Big Mama's recipe.
Geoff,
Everybody knows.
let me come back to you. Let me give you a little pushback, brother. There's an assumption that we know Big Mama's recipe still exists. Big Mama's recipe is tantamount to being knowledge itself. A recipe is handed down generation to generation. But if the root, Big Mama, is gone and nobody is there to carry the generation, that's when we start adding shit from the time. And next thing you know, your motherfucking dressing got pine nuts and cranberries and all types of fuck shit in it. We don't have knowledge of self as a people. Not that knowledge of self isn't available. It's just obscured. But once you start digging for it and searching for it, you will find that the truth is there. Somebody in the chat room said, Zoe, where can we start in terms of a Bible that isn't the King James Version? Well, there's a book, a Bible called the George, pull this up, Sarah. George M. Lamsa. The George M. Lamsa version of the Bible is supposed to come from the Aramaic Bible. George M. Lamsa.
Spell that last one.
Lamsa. Lamsa. George M. Lamsa. Get that. But also get the Strong's Concordance, which breaks down Bible verses in the Hebrew and Greek languages. Now, understand the difference between the Hebrew language and the ancient Aramic. Ancient Aramic comes from one of Shem's sons, Aram.
Bruh, I need to speak on something I see in the chat.
Oh, shit. Don't respond while the knowledge is coming. Go ahead, brother.
Here comes some more knowledge. Here comes some more knowledge. Somebody said, just learn how to read the Bible. That's it. Just learn how to decipher and decode this book. It is that energy that because I am smart enough, everyone is smart enough. It is because I know, well, just do it then. It is that, well, just do it then energy that has us scattered over this very book right here and right now. If it was that easy, if it was that simple to just be able to go through the Bible and go and be open enough after generations, for you to believe the Bible at all implies that somebody came before you and gave it to you and you watched it. And the people who gave it to you as if it was without error, without spot or wrinkle. So in your mind, this is the pure, unadulterated word of God. Who am I to challenge it in any way?
Now,
that is the way
most
people approach the Bible.
That's it right there.
So that's unfair to tell, just read the book. If I just do that, then I am of the subjective mind that I was given by Big Mama and them. And I can't just do it in that mind. I got to jump out of Big Mama's mind because Big Mama didn't lie to me. She gave me her truth. But Big Mama's truth is flawed because truth is always a matter of opinion. It always is. Whatever the truth, we believe that 2 + 2 is 4. We have to all have that opinion in order for that to be true. So whoever shapes truth is who's in charge, and somebody shaped the truth to Big Mama the way she gave it to me. And who am I to challenge that? There are a lot of people of that mind. So it is unfair to say, just drop this Bible in front of those people and expect them to get out of this. That's fucked up.
Now, somebody's asking which Strong's Concordance to get. Get the Strong's Concordance. Strong's Concordance. Get that. You must have that. You understand? Please understand that this book is set up in a puzzle. Somebody in the chat room keeps posting. That's Super Chris, Sugar Chris. What up, Sugar Chris? Somebody keeps, Sugar Chris is posting Meseroth. Meseroth, again, if I'm cultivating a particular type of belief system, I don't want you to know about certain things that I use, so I'm going to call the things that I use demonic, so you won't never use them.
Yeah, yes.
And I'm going to obfuscate, which means to shroud, to cover the true meaning of certain things. In Job, in Amos, you see the word Meseroth. Meseroth is a Hebrew word, but it's transliterated. What that means is it's spelled out the way it's pronounced in its language. Why you do that in an English book? Because you don't want people to know what that fucking word means. Job chapter 9, verse 9. Amos chapter 5, verse 3. You don't want Job chapter 38, verse 31. You don't want motherfuckers to know what Meseroth means. Meseroth means zodiac, and it's speaking in context of God. Who could bring forth the seasons and the zodiac? They talking about God doing this. But I thought you said God was against astrology. Well, it's right the fuck there. But we gonna confuse your ass so you don't get off the track of the version of Christianity or religion we produced for you. It means zodiac. Meseroth.
And furthermore,
oh, go ahead.
Not only do you not get off the track we have for you, but you look at your auntie that do as a freaking weirdo. You immediately, by default, anybody did, oh no, Gloria deal with that astrology shit. Oh no, that vegetarian astrology shit. I used to hear that in the 70s. When I was a kid, there were people on higher thinking, and I looked over at that shit with particular interest, but I was in the orbit and the gravity of Hoda the Boko shot. Everybody around me. And I knew that there was something different about that thinking. But I also knew that that difference I was attracted to, these niggas here was not having. You was not in my grandmama house talking about you did some shit because you a Taurus. Nigga, you did that shit because the devil is in you. So we were to put hot sauce on what you're saying is if you say Meseroth means zodiac, which in this context would make it a powerful tool in that sentence, a powerful map in that sentence. then that tool and map has been hidden from you. It has been ridiculed just for you in order for you to think that you are wrong or foolish to even use it, and not to stop you, but to slow you down, because
Now,
too much of this shit starts to make sense over time.
now, the oldest form of Christianity is Ethiopian. They got scriptures in Amharic, their language. I've told you this before. The older you go back in the Ethiopian version of Christianity, you will be led to Horus. Jesus is Horus in their ancient belief system. Christianity was on the continent before it was in Europe.
Okay.
Do you understand? That's our shit. All of it is ours. This is why we got to stop creating these bands of tribes that want to beat up on each other. Listen, as a people, we're the seed of every significant culture that has ever existed. How is that racist? Geoff?
It's absolutely, here's how I'm going to show you it's racist and give you a big old hug and agree with you. That statement you just said is absolutely racist if you mean use as a tool to acquire wealth and resources. It would be the landmark first time, or second time if you believe Kevin Berringer, but the first time in recent history that Black people were truly racist is if we were to step up and say, we are the original people and we believe it. We don't believe in this separate but equal shit. We believe that we should be separate and you are not in any way equal to us. That we are working on where you came from and we finna pool our shit together so that we can overthrow you. That's racist.
And we've
and
never
that's
been that.
fantastically racist and should be put in, and in my opinion, if I was to be a racist, should be implemented, because these people do not want the burden of the sins of their fathers. So yes, It's absolutely racist to say that we are the originals and that we are entitled. We are entitled not just to what you owe us, but to most of what you got. I'm almost done, baby. What's that?
I said, I think that's weed, Geoff. We're not
Really?
racist. We don't have a power structure to be racist.
No, at this point, Zoe, absolutely. But does that mean we cannot make a comment in that lane, in the definition of racism? We need to get into the lane of our own personal racism. So our own competition, our own competition specifically to gain, not see what black people want to do. All we want you to do, basically, what we've been asking all over the world, is just stop fucking with us. Could you? That's all. We ain't trying to get even. We ain't trying. Just please, just leave us alone. Just let the natural thing happen. But that doesn't happen.
But see,
that's what we're
I think it's a slippery slope and it's dangerous if you say what we're saying is racist, because now you don't get to espouse your truth when other people get to espouse theirs in an emotionally bullying kind of way. They get to celebrate their identity, whether it is usurped or not. They get to say, this is who we are. And then if you challenge saying, this is who we are, now you're somehow racist or anti-Semite. When you challenge it by presenting your own information by saying, no, it is my recollection that the first version of Christianity came out of Ethiopia. No, it is my recollection that the ancient pharaohs were all Nubian, brown skin, black people from the land of the black lands, Kemet. Right? Well, no, that's not the current view. Well, the current view is dominated by Western education. And if Western education is trying to become the author of your culture, is it racist to stand up and defend your culture against their usurpation? Talk to me.
Oh, on the surface, absolutely not. On the surface, when racism looked at as used by the way Europeans had used their racism, absolutely not. The way Arabs have used their racism, the way Jews have used their racism, absolutely not. But when you look at racism in its purest term, the competition of a people for resources and their maneuverings and machinations against another people for that same, for the aforementioned. That's purely what racism is. Not bigotry, not prejudice, not violence, racism. As an economic construct, which is what it was invented for.
Yeah.
When you look at it then like that, so it is a tool that has been used ugly against us. This to me is racism. Once the quarantine is lifted.
If
Let's
it's
go back.
lifted.
If okay, here's this hypothetical. Yes, let me take you back 5 years. Here's racism 5 years ago. There is an Arab store, a store run by Arabs in the neighborhood. A little black girl goes in there. She gets cussed out. Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. A meeting of the gang or gangs around there comes together, and all the heads brings everybody together and puts this word out. No one is to go in or out of that store. If they do, they are notified that they finna catch hell from us. Find somewhere else to go. And that store is choked out of business. And then the councilman in that area, more than likely, some Jasper-ass shade tree house coon, changes his ways and steps up and says in a town hall meeting full of us, that here is a list of 10 people who are black, who have the credit and the means to run a business there. If anybody other than the 10 people on this list is given the opportunity for this land, that business will not flourish, we promise you. That is black racism, and we need to practice it. That's how you practice racism, because that's just them doing it in the reverse. We have not used that tool, racism, on our behalf.
I get it.
Does that make any sense?
I get it, and I'm not arguing that point. There's a book I want you guys to get. I mentioned it last week, but I misspoke. But I have all of the facts right here in front of me. There's a book I want you to get by Furpo W. Carr, PhD.
Oh, Furpo.
It's called Germany's Black Holocaust, 1890 to 1945. Details never before revealed. Paperback, June 5th, 2012. In the 1890s, blacks were tortured in German concentration camps in Southwest Africa, now called Namibia, when Adolf Hitler was only a child. Colonial German doctors conducted unspeakable medical experiments. Does this sound familiar? This happened from 1890 to 1945 in Namibia. It's on Amazon.com right now. If we talk about our Holocaust, is there a pecking order for Holocausts? Is there a hierarchy for Holocaust? And that's just one. See, if I say how many have you had, how many have you been through? And I'm not saying, because if we want to get technical and say prove it, because whenever you go to the Bible to prove your Holocaust, it ain't written on the walls. See, I just pointed out Southwest Africa, 1890, 1945. That's one Holocaust. Transatlantic slave trade, that's another Holocaust. See, we get into the Bible, it's subjective. Because if I'm an atheist, I can say, oh, the Bible doesn't exist. Well, we were in Egypt. We built the pyramids. Did you really? A society that is so motherfucking meticulous that they write everything on the walls? Why didn't they write you on the walls building the pyramid?
Yeah, they don't put any pale supervisors in the picture.
Right. Why weren't you on the wall? Why is there no mention of you in stone? I'm supposed to take what was written, rewritten, and rewritten, and rewritten, and retranslated, and retranslated. I'm supposed to take that word. I'm supposed to take that word over the word of stone. Then why do you say it's written in stone? That implies that that shit can't be changed. It's written in stone. But written in paper has more weight. When it's subject to more translations, you can't translate a stone. Whatever the fuck written on that wall, that's what's on the goddamn wall.
Zo.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna need you to repeat what you just said, but can you do it like your uncle? You understand?
You understand me, Nate? You understand now? You can't write something on the wall and then translate it and make it something else. Whatever the fuck on that wall, that's on that wall. You understand what I mean? That wall say what it say, it ain't gonna say nothing else.
That was say what it say. Look here. How the wall gonna say two things? That
wall, the wall can't say something else. You can't go 15, 20 years and then retranslate a wall. How you gonna retranslate a rock, nigga?
Exactly. Yes, beautiful. Beautiful. So when I point a camera at you, that's exactly what I want to have. Now, here is the pimpest thing about Holocaust. You spit out Holocaust after Holocaust after Holocaust just now. When you said, who is in charge of Holocaust? Well, let's just say the media. This media that they get so angry when you touch the button and say that they own. When you get so blacklisted, I don't mind being blacklisted because the blacklist is nice now. When you say that you come out boldly and say that Hollywood is run by gays, Jews, and gay Jews. Those are the three groups. If you bold enough to say that.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I believe, yeah, I might have written that. I believe I might have written that. That there, Hollywood is run by three groups of Jews: gays, Jews, and gay Jews. That if you have a problem with either of those groups, then you are probably not going to work. And that's just factual. You know why they get so touchy when you say that? It is because they are in charge of what the Holocaust is. And they have been so gangster with it that when you put that word out, it has been equated in your mind to one event. You say Holocaust and you don't think anything about any of what you brought up, Zoe. We have been trained to believe that that horrible word only belongs to them.
We living in a Holocaust right now.
Bruh.
A motherfucker kneeling on
Bruh.
somebody's neck, that's a Holocaust. Being re-traumatized every year, 6-7 times a year. White racist police officers killing black people, that's living in a Holocaust. We live in an economic Holocaust. You mean to tell me the way economics are set up, it's not by design? That's a Holocaust. You mean getting subpar education isn't a type of Holocaust? Come on. Y'all want to tell the truth now, right? We living in a George Floyd moment right now, and everybody wants to say Black Lives Matter. What about Black history? Does Black history matter? So, Richard Dawkins, a world famous atheist, gets to run the streets with a goddamn t-shirt on that says, I'm African. Why is white Richard Dawkins, author of the book called The God Delusion, wearing straight out of Africa t-shirt or I'm an African t-shirt? What the fuck is he wearing that for? Because of the out of Africa theory, that all human beings come out of Africa. Well, if that's the case, how did Jews turn white? If that's the case, how did Jesus turn white? Now, we know the history of Jesus. We know Cesare Borgia, son of Alexander Sextus the Great, or his father, the Pope, Rodrigo Borgia. We know about his daughter, Lucrezia, and they fucking posed and got painted by Michelangelo to be the figure of Jesus and his mother Mary. We know that. You get to just remake people's history? You get to usurp history. So, violet-eyed, who was that? Elizabeth, what's her name? Michael Jackson's friend, Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah. She get to be the standard of what an Egyptian queen looks like. Oh, yeah. Y'all get to just walk y'all asses in other people's culture and usurp it. Is that not racist? This culture is too sublime. This culture is too fucking advanced for it to be a lowly, dirty, ignorant nigger. So we get to just take it. And because we don't view niggas as human, they can't possibly participate in a Holocaust as victims. Is that not true, Geoff?
Bruh, you just spit out so much fat and so much on the nose information that it went into my high brain and is coming out like this. They have done this by, and follow me, by keeping constant watch and charge over everything on this earth that is paper. All the paper money, all the newspapers, all of the magazines, all of the history books. They have kept a death grip on paper. As long as we can keep control of this paper, what they read, what they trade with, what they worship with, we must keep control of the paper. And whenever you question one of these departments of paper is when you find yourself under scrutiny, ridicule, to the point of assassination. These people have kept themselves in charge of the paper. So when you challenge this, ask yourself, which part of the paper are you challenging? And know that you are challenging the paper. Does that make any sense?
I understand, Geoff. It's because you high, but it does make sense to the layman. Now let me do this, because you gotta do your rant, Geoff. And maybe
really?
Yes. Okay. And maybe you can even rant and extend your idea of the paper. But
okay.
Before you do that, let me say this. Y'all gotta hit the like button. It's been for an hour and a half, almost 1,400 people in this chat room. And some of you guys have shown your appreciation by hitting the like button, the super chat button, or cash apps. Please show your support of this channel and what it is that we do by dropping a 10 spot, either on the super chat or the cash app. Please, please, please support Geoff Brown. Put up Geoff Brown's, hey, baby girl. Please put up Geoff Brown's cash app so that our friends and family in this chat room can support that good brother for coming in here late. That's $GBFunnyStyle. Please support Geoff Brown, because I love his perspective, and I love the perspective we have. Like I said, we don't know everything. We not the biggest and the baddest scholars in the world. I'm not even a scholar. But I love the way we angle shit. Also, Sarah is 10 toes down on our team. She's been here at every shoot that I've done for my documentary. Please support Sarah. Sarah, put up your cash app. Please. Where's your cash app? Right there, $Sundays with Sarah. Everybody in the chat room, get us to 1,000 likes. And also, please do not hesitate to hit the super chat button. I'm urging everybody to drop $10 on the super chat button or my cash app, $REWZoWhat, right? Please, please do this now as Geoff goes into his world famous rant.
Okay. For those of you who, I want you to see this as my metaphor. As I co-sign first what Zoe said about himself and Sarah. In my head, to put it in your head, think of as Marvel Comics. Imagine if Iron Man and the Hulk decided to break off on their own and start doing shit. It's obvious who, in this metaphor, is Iron Man and who's the Hulk. Who is Sarah? Sarah is Jarvis, nigga. Sarah is Jarvis. That's who had me be working on Tony's shit in the background. Tony is fucked up without Jarvis. That's part of the whole get down. So as we move forward, there's a video game that my son turned me on to that I'm playing with him that has this big red character, big and angry like the Hulk, but he looks like a brother in the face. He's red and he throws bulls. I'm going to tell you who that is in a minute. If you know who it is, put it in the chat. But that is metaphorically who we are and who we have to be to you now. Hopefully, this truth, and I'm just going to pop our collars for a second. I don't see how incredibly different what we have been saying to you this is from when we was at the foxhole. Me and Zoe been riding on this shit for a very long time. Shit that means something does not have to be different to be relevant. Shit that don't mean anything has to be different to be relevant. It has to change. That's why, no diss to Janet Jackson, a Janet Jackson performance, you go to that for a different reason than you do a Jill Scott. You ain't there to see Jill Scott dance. When you get in your car on the way home from the Janet Jackson concert, you gonna go, nigga, elephants? I didn't know they had elephants. God damn. That's yes. Two different things.
What is Geoff talking
So I am talking about this. I am talking about the substance of what we have provided over the years. The reason that you follow us, the reason that our following is growing is not because we saying shit different. It is because we are constantly hitting you with the relevant. It is always relevant. We have always been relevant. If you go backward, it is borderline prophetic. I say that purely to say that in order for any of this to work, these people, and I'm going to tie this here with the paper and I'm done. These people have kept governance over you, have kept watch over you, have kept rule over you through paper. They're going to throw the book at you. That thing made of paper, that on those words they have decided that a cocaine charge for you is 10 times what it is for them. Because they wrote that on that paper. It is the law, and that law is on paper. And in order to get your monkey ass out until we decide to put you in, you're going to have to put your mama's house up. So we going to need some more of that paper that we have determined the worth of, that we got you in line standing up waiting on in the form of reparations. The value of that paper that I am betting you will get reparation just in time for that shit to crash. Because they control the paper. And unless and until you pull out from under the gravity of the paper.
Pull-out game got to be strong.
Yes. You got to be, yes. Your pull-out game. Oh, okay. I'm going to go and take that. The weakness of your metaphysical pull-out game. If you live in the suburbs and you drive a really nice car and you went to college, you did all the right things, and you can somehow feel no sympathy for those who didn't, that is the evidence of the weakness of your metaphysical pullout game. And you have impregnated a lifestyle that must now live and birth itself under the heel of white supremacy.
And are you done?
That's what I guess so. Yes.
I didn't know if you were done because you paused.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen you
Yeah.
pause. Normally you just keep rolling.
Hope smash.
Oh, finish
Hope
smashing.
smash,
Go
hope
ahead.
done.
Go ahead, Geoff. Finish smashing.
Okay. So
on the wrap-up smash side of the game.
on the wrap-up side of the game, if you are not taking your paper and giving them little paper cuts, as in the letters I have, the letters I wrote, and I'll put a link up into the feed to where you can get them. To not shop ever again at a Target or a Best Buy. To never there's a list of companies that everything they make, if you seek hard enough, you can find with us. That's giving them millions of little tiny paper cuts. If you can take control of those paper moments, whoever you are going to vote for locally on paper has to have initiatives for you or screw them. Control your paper, control your image, control your likeness, control your narrative, and control your thirst for their approval. I'm done.
Be thirsty, my friend. Control your thirst.
Can ya?
For white love and approval.
Oh. Okay.
Dumb as shit.
Okay. Zoe.
What?
On some That's the Way of the World. On that vibe. We put your boy. Who is your boy that came out? Your trumpet. Your boy that played the horn. And
Joe Lineberg. Joseph Lineberg.
Joe. Yeah. You put
I'm
your
not
boy
gonna
Joe
be
Lineberg
there.
and Broadway. We're gonna put them two together. We're gonna put Joe Lineberg. I'm calling him out. Joe Lineberg and Broadway. We want you to produce a track that's like Earth, Wind, and Fire, like with me and Zoe on it, talking about that shit. Right? Oh my God.
And Joe is the guy to do it. As a matter of fact, Joe is about to drop a new album. It's a double album called The Archer. And when I tell you it's a follow-up to 2016's Astral Progressions, I've heard
Oh
some.
my God.
It's amazing, dog. I'm just saying. But let me just get back to this because I have books I want you guys to check out. I want you to look up author Runoko Rashidi. He has a book called Black Star, The African Presence in Early Europe. I want you to look that up. I love Runoko Rashidi's work. I want you to look up Runoko Rashidi and editor Ivan Van Sertima, right? I want you to look up this book, African Presence in Early Asia. See, because oftentimes it sounds like niggas is just making up shit when we say, oh yeah, the African created the Olmecs. Oh yeah, the African was the first Australian. Oh yeah, the African was the first Polynesian. Oh yeah, the African was the first Hawaiian. Like, it sounds crazy, right? But when you start doing the research and you start finding out, like, oh shit, here's another book. The Ancient Black Hebrews and Arabs by Anu Mbutu and Gert Muller. Get that book. Anu, A-N-U, Ubuntu, and Gert Muller, The Ancient Black Hebrews and Arabs. Very important. African Star over Asia. African Star over Asia. The Black Presence in the East. Runoko Rashidi. Very important that we read our history all over the damn world. Like, all over the damn world. Is it racist to say, yeah, I'm an African, I'm an ADOS, American descendant of slavery, and an American descendant of the indigenous people that were here already? Is that racist to say? Am I saying the remix version of Native Americans y'all got today ain't us? Is that racist? Is it racist to call out the pre-existing Native American tribes that participated in the slave trade? If we gonna have a real George Floyd moment and we gonna change the world and we gonna be different, you got to give up your motherfucking financial leverage through legislation, maybe motherfucking reparations or some shit, and you got to give up the lies you told in history. If we're gonna really have this moment. Otherwise, we just knocking down statues to appease egos and satiate feelings. Sheikh Anta Diop. Let's go to Sheikh Anta Diop. I know Geoff don't know shit about Sheikh Anta Diop. Do you, Geoff?
No, okay, a little bit.
Tell us, Geoff, what you know. Because, Geoff, we've been giving you books for years, my nigga. Be honest, Geoff. Have we been giving you books for years, Geoff?
Years.
And have you read any of the books we gave you?
No, I have not. No. I'm in the Kabbalion, bro. I'm in the Kabbalion right now.
Oh, you reading that?
Yes.
Okay, my nigga.
Yes.
Now we talking something.
Yes.
Ivan Van Sertima. They came before Columbus. The
From
African
Columbus.
presence.
I got that one. That was on deck. That was
in
on deck.
ancient America.
I have it. Yes.
The golden age of the Moor. Right? By Ivan Van Sertima. The Golden Age of the Moor by Ivan Van Sertima. The African Origin of Civilization. Myth or Reality. The Black Woman in Antiquity. Ivan Van Sertima. It's another brother I like. Mutwa, I think. No, I think it's Muta Ashby. Muta Ashby. Love his books. Y'all ain't gonna pull up his books? Y'all gonna pull up some mugs. Okay. You know what the fuck y'all doing. Pull up the books, man. They done got rid of Muta Ashby's books here?
Bruh.
I guess Amazon don't have it.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. That's its own show, bruh. How the internet is now being throttled and how there are certain videos I can't find anymore.
Right.
Certain roads that, like, try to find something negative about chemotherapy. I dare you.
Really?
Yeah. Just Google Google negative effects of chemotherapy and see what you get.
It's not popping up no
On
more.
your own spare time. Oh, just Google it on your spare time. It's scary.
Wow. Wow. All right, I was trying to give you guys more books. But apparently the internet says it don't want to work no more. Damn,
Brother,
Sugar
I'm
Chris.
telling you.
Sugar Chris done hit us with two $50 donations. Thank you, Sugar Chris. Everybody that hit the donation button for Geoff, his Cash App, we appreciate it. Listen,
Absolutely.
man, I'm not in here to be on no racist shit. I just know what's up. My great grandmother, Big Mama, Emma Sue McWhirter, said it. She said, boy, our people are the African, the Indian, and the white man. She knew who the fuck we was. My thing to y'all is, if you don't know who you are, you'll never be able to claim any type of power in this world. Knowing who you are is essential to going to where you want to go. Geoff Brown, you have any closing final thoughts?
Yes. This time of which we always spoke is now. We are the beginning of the future, Black people. And all them, there's 100 Star Wars analogies you could give to this. There's 100 Battlestar Galactica, Planet of the Apes. The point is, this shit is real and in your face. And it's time out for thinking you can coast in any real area of your life. Get your guard up. Watch your families. Watch your knowledge. Watch what you let in. Don't watch all these videos. Be informed, but not affected.
Right. And all this shit is an appetizer to the real knowledge. We just up here shooting the breeze like we at the motherfucking barbershop. You need to get serious about your goddamn education in terms of studying. And I mean really studying. Everything. You understand? Christianity Before Christ, John G. Jackson, a book that was submitted in the chat room. John G. Jackson. Look up the works of John Henrik Clark. Please.
Yes.
Ethiopia and the Origin of Man is another good read. Right? Please continue to do the work. Just because somebody claims to be who you are doesn't mean it's the truth. I'm trying to tell y'all, let me just say this. Everybody who shared with us today, we appreciate it. We thank you so much. Please be on the lookout for all of the things that I have in store. That master class, I'm going to tell you right now, we got 1,200 people in here. I want to get over 3,000 people to participate in this large-scale Zoom. We're about to launch it in no more than 90 days. I think, 70 days. No more than 70 days. We're about to launch this massive master class, and I want everybody to sign up. I want everybody to sign up. It's a relationship master class. I'm going to be revealing aspects of the 2 relationship books that I'm already doing, that I've already done, the holographic relationship and the relationship dismount. But I'm also going to be revealing concepts from the new book that's coming, The Shrouded Lighthouse. Oh, wow, Lloyd, good looking, fam. Good looking, SMVGRV1. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to be revealing a lot of stuff. I'm going to be, dropping a lot of stuff coming up here soon. I want you guys to participate. I want you to jump on this master class in a major way. And like I said, the documentary is coming. It's rolling. And we're looking at 2021. I just want everybody to get down with the movement, because I believe finding out who we are, healing ourselves, putting ourselves in a better spiritual position is how we're going to be able to work together in the coming years, because we're going to need to work together more than any other time in history. And the best way to do that is to heal past traumas, is to learn how to re-embrace each other, is to stop with the judgments. You know what? Let me get off this real quick. Geoff Brown, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
We got to end on a bang. Bruh, two things. The August Alsina just dropped a damn track called Entanglements with him and Rick Ross.
I might have to listen to it. I haven't heard.
With him and Rick Ross.
One of my favorites. Yeah.
Now, I listened to the shit. I love Rick Ross. That motherfucker, boy, he all right. Yeah. That boy can rap now. He was saying shit about being jaded. I said, oh, damn, they just lacing all of the shit in here. Now, let me ask you, though, because I'm starting to change my mind a little bit. Why are you going to put out a record, dog? Now, I can understand being hurt. I can understand being taken advantage of and all of that. But you going to come back and put out a record? Is that messy? Is that capitalizing off the moment? Was that your intention all along? Was to capitalize off the Smiths and use their energy and your entanglement with them as fuel to blow yourself up? Geoff Brown.
Perhaps. I'm going to give that a perhaps. But I'm also going to put that, this piece of art in the same category with the song You're So Vain by Carly Simon. The Confessions album, Lemonade.
Keep going, Geoff.
What else? What else is an artist what is his album supposed to be about, if not this? Sailing,
good point.
And boats and shoes and the sky.
Mary J's.
And the club.
Yep, you can put the Mary J in there.
Yes, he has always.
He snorted cocaine. He left a stain on the bed. Go ahead.
Come on, man. An artist always takes pictures. A true artist. Why Marvin Gaye is so beloved, Prince so beloved, Barry White so beloved, is because they take a picture of not only what they feel, but what is their version of the truth, the universal truth, how they see it in a particular moment. That is why what's going on is such a big fucking record, because you can take that picture of his opinion of that moment and compare it to now. What the hell else is August Alsina supposed to write about but his picture of this moment?
Yeah.
What is his album supposed to be about then?
It's not supposed to be about something totally different, right?
Right. What would it be about then? If his album, if his song, Entanglements, should be about something else, pretty please with sugar on top, tell me what that is.
Good shit, Geoff. I like that. I got another one for you. What the fuck is wrong with Kanye West? Campaigning, crying, it almost killed my daughter. He's campaigning for president. He out here crying. It is known that he has mental disorder, bipolar and all of this. Can someone with bipolar be a president? Some would say yes, because we already have a bipolar narcissistic president, right? What in the fuck is going on with Kanye West? Geoff Brown.
Kanye West is the rooster on the shoulder of the snake oil salesman that comes to town.
Oh, so he the nigga in the
This-
say video?
Oh, yes. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Kanye West is being held up to distract as many as he possibly can by being taken advantage of through his weaknesses. Them Kardashians is some witches. They witches, bruh.
Because if they loved
Look,
him, they would keep his ass out of sight.
Thank you. The Kardashians, the wicked witches of the West. Oh my God. What have they done to the lives that have gotten close to them? There's a couple of them that escaped. But man, the Kardashian compound is where a young black man's dreams go to die.
You see what happened to motherfucking Lamar? That nigga, boy.
Oh my,
They fucked
bruh,
Lamar's
them
whole
women
life
are
up.
witches. I think they use they use black hopes to fuel their dark souls.
On some vampire, like on some Sookie.
Yes.
Like on some True Blood type shit, my nigga.
Yes.
Sookie.
So I'm saying that Kanye is screaming for help in his mind, but he's in such a sunken place, it comes out, I almost killed my daughter. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that dude don't have nobody around him to keep him sane for his own objectives.
And I'm saying Child Protective Services ain't over there like, what did you do, my friend, running for president?
Yeah. This dude literally needs a net thrown over his head. He needs to be thrown in a van, and he needs to get put in front of a herbalist, get a nice cleanse out, get him on a plant-based diet, and do that for a year in captivity, and all that he can get access to, no outside entertainment, no outside influence, is musical equipment. And see what come out. That is my detox program for Kanye West. I'm gonna get in touch with Brother Minister Tony Muhammad and the nation. I'm saying, okay, let's put us together, a troop, and let's go and kidnap Kanye West, and we gonna sequester him, reteach him, and put him in a room, and the only thing he got access to is all the music equipment he can handle. Oh man, yes, that's what I think of Kanye West.
Hey, well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an extended WeGet.What show. Geoff, legendary appearance today. I ain't never seen a nigga late at home. Like, that shit was fucking amazing. Like, this nigga showed up 25 minutes late, and he was at home.
Fired on your day home. I was late at home.
Yeah, so that shit's amazing. I've never. This nigga had traffic from the bed to the den. So that was amazing. I want to personally shout out the super chat and the chat room. You guys have been nothing but love and supportive today. Geoff and I truly appreciate it. Geoff, have they been hitting your Cash App, good brother?
Yeah, please. To all of I'm gonna go back and name names. I don't know how to thank everybody who's ever given me from $1 to whatever.
Right.
God bless you. I thank you so much. And that is in love to everybody. I'm trying to figure out how to do something other than give you a heart. But yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we appreciated it. And Sarah, I hope you guys look out for Sarah too, because Sarah has taken this day off. so she can do this show. So we're
Oh,
very no, seriously. She was like, I can't be going back to work after, and she made it a part of her schedule, and we appreciate Sarah 100%, and we appreciate everybody in this chat room. We love y'all,
Charles.
and we thank you guys for riding with us all these years doing this show. And I always say, go do the research. We just hint at shit, right? We just hint and point in particular directions. We don't know it all, but you go do the research and you continue the discussion out where you at. And remember, support all of the black businesses I put in front of you. I thank you guys for tuning in once again. Nothing but love, nothing but respect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you next week. Deuces.
Peace. I don't know.